Alright, here's the thing. I like to make a point in this show right now. I like to make a point that Dorei-ku, the animation episode 2, had just escalated from 0 to 100 in 5 minutes. It's like we read the manga 5 months ago. I mean, some of you already read the manga, and some of y'all already have characters y'all really like. Ayaka, I'm not saying she's my favorite girl, but what she is like, I feel bad for Ayaka. But Seiya, yo, I hate that gentleman. Seiya, I hate him so bad now. I hate him now. Looking back at this, I understand what he did it for, but the way he did it is just so fucking bad. So what makes episode 2 great was that this episode 2 was kind of like borderline hentai but minus the sex. So basically, you just watch non-hentai in a long run. Now, this episode was really important for Sayaka and I because that's what this episode's about. It's basically focusing characters who's participating in the game. It's not just the main character, there's other characters in the game. So let's start with Sayaka and Ayaka. I mean Seiya and Ayaka. There you go. Ayaka. Now, if you guys don't know who she is, she's the girl with the blonde hair and a dress with an eye patch. Kind of like Future Diary, you know, the girl with the puppy hair and an eye patch. Okay, she has an eye patch. And then you got the gentleman host member, Seiya, who's kind of a dick. Like, really a dick. So, but he's a gentleman, like all the girls like him, but he's a total dick. Okay, anyway, so the beginning of the show starts off with playing rock, paper, scissors. And Ayaka played dirty by forcing her to win, and even though she was gonna lose for him, he didn't. But then Seiya, he came out and said, yeah, I only did this because I'm in love with somebody. And you're nothing more than you're just nothing but an ATM machine. So what that means is, oh, you're just there for money. If there's anything I want, you just take it out of your ATM and you give the money to me. So he basically treated her like trash. And that's kind of fucked up. But yo, the love that Ayaka has for Seiya was really, really intense. 5 minutes into, like, remember I said about the 0 to 100 in the heartbeat? That's what it was. That's what it was. And Seiya, the girl with the eye patch, I never would have expected this to show. I mean, in the manga, they did show the rape scene they had. And the first episode of it didn't show it. They just showed the car humping up and down. But in this one, they actually, for the animation to show him eating her down here I never expected that to be put in the show. I mean, normally like that, it's just beep. They don't show it, they just go on to the next one, or they censored it. But she got on the table, took off her panties, and said, "Eat me out." And I'm like, whoa! You could say that? I mean, I know it was anime, but I didn't expect they're gonna censor it. I thought they were gonna censor it, but they kept it there. Like, when Ayaka said, she got on the table and said, "Eat me out." Her panties were off. I'm like, damn. And Seiya got nothing to do but to eat it. She opened the shirt, the dress, and then his head was there. The orgasm face that Ayaka had was in tears. Yo, that is so. I know some of y'all must have got turned on. I must have got shocked at that. For me, I had to pause it back just to say, like, did this really happen? Did this really happen? I mean, I know that psychological animes don't show this, but damn, they actually show that? Wow. I couldn't even imagine, like, why you show something like that, but it was really good. So now, there's more to the SCM than ever. Okay, for some of y'all who hasn't read it, or some of you who are new to this, the SCM also detects who's the master, who's the slaves, and who's the person that's not in the game at all. So when you see a master circle and a triangle slaves, when you see that, it gives you an indication of who in the game. And the green one is for those who's fully not aware in the game. They're just wandering around, like they're just that. So now, and it can also detect who's the players are coming. So it's like a radar. You know, like you see that beep, beep, beep. It's like that. So you can find masters and slaves in that area, or that when you walk around. So Ayaka and Seiya was facing off against the two characters that we know from the first episode. They're a good team. They really are a good team. But Ayaka and Seiya, they're not a good team. I don't like that. Like, their team method sucks. Oh, and by the way, Ayaka moves into Seiya's house, and she sees nothing but a women's room full with his girlfriend's stuff. And she got fed up with it. She just threw everything away. And he dumped out, and he had no choice but to throw everything away because he still loved Julia. Not Julia Cowboy Bebop, some other Julia that you may know from this show. And she's hot. I'm not going to lie, Julia's hot. But anyway, Ayaka and Seiya met these the players from the first episode, and decided to play the thumb game where you have to guess how many thumbs are putting up. If you get it right, you put one hand up. If you do it again, you're out. It's like that. But the pressure that Ayaka had, that was fucked up. So he didn't do nothing at all. He just didn't he didn't do nothing. I'm just like, he eliminated himself and let the pressure go on to Ayaka. And Ayaka got so stressed out that she lost and everything. Seiya just quickly punched her in the face and said, "I'm not your slave anymore. I was never your slave." And I'm like, what the hell? Seiya, you're an asshole. This is why I can't stand anime guys hitting anime girls. Because there's a fucking problem with it. I can't stand that. Unless you have a good reason. Like, okay, High School of the Dead. When Takashi slapped Rei in the face, she had it coming. Because it wasn't about a zombie. It wasn't about boyfriend, girlfriend. We had a situation, like, snap out of it. We need to focus. We in a zombie apocalypse. Okay, snap out of it. But characters like in Sekirei, where you guys remember Sekirei? You know that abusive Ashikabi that abused the Sekirei and slapping her in the face with the Sekirei that got the hammer. There's like that. Characters, I can't stand anime guys who just literally hit the anime girls with no friggin' reason. Like, just slapping them or punching them in the face. I'm like, what the hell? Like the brother from Magical Girl side. The big brother bullies abusing the little sister. And I'm like, what the fuck? But, moving on. But anyway, Seiya slapped Ayaka, punch her in the face. And she fell. And he cried because he knows what he did was wrong. He didn't mean to do that. Who cares? Now, Seiya's backstory, kind of like, it was like, are we going to forgive this guy for what he did? I mean, what he did to Julia? I mean, they had a great trip in Jamaica and all that stuff, but we're going to forgive her? No. I mean, we're going to forgive him? No. But the whole premises of him being part of this game was because for Julia's sake. And by the way, the other two players, they're just using them as pawns. So technically, they're not really their slaves. It's just, the way how they want to play the game is we're just going to use them as pawns and just win. Control as many people as we want. We don't have to worry about another. But Seiya his backstory was kind of like, wow, he fucked up. He was in the trash, he didn't care, and all of a sudden, a gorgeous lady named Julia came in and saved his life. They living together, they started dating, until that device came and just ruined everything. Now, he's on the rooftop, and Julia was there, and everything was set in stone until the moment happened when she showed her the tattoo that she is a property of somebody. And now that's kind of like, you asked for it, that kind of moment. But yeah, he had it coming. And it is his fault that Julia is what she is now. Why she's in this predicament as well. But I like to point things out that Julia will play a big role in this for next week's episode, because Julia backstory explains everything about how she in this brand attack, how she got this tattoo, why she's in this SCM. We're all gonna love how this turns out, and hopefully we'll see more players getting along with the well. Not to mention, speaking of the boy episode, can I like to point things out that they gave away characters who's gonna be in the game already. You know that, like when the guy went inside the cafe and you in the library and you see this short boy with the gray hair and the hat walking out, you already know that person's in the game. So there's no confirmation about it. In fact, look at the opening. We already know that player is already there. So yeah, we see that coming. So basically, episode 2 was just your run-of-the-mill hentai no sex method. It had all the elements there. You didn't see parts of it coming. And Ayaka plays a big role when she says, "Eat me out." That kind of shocked everybody because I never expected that coming out of her mouth, coming out of the anime. And then they actually showing it like them freaking hentai, even though it's not hentai. But way to show it. If y'all gonna do something like that for a psychological game anime like this, make it, well, not game, but if you're gonna make it something like this, continue with it, but make it, make it to a point where it's like, what? That kind of face. So let's just see how that goes. So first 2 episodes was really good. Like I said, it's not just about the main character, but there's other players that we're about to see in the game, and each player has their backstory, and each player just demonstrates how they operate in the SCM. So I'm looking forward for episode 3 to see Julia and the rest of the players who's in this game, and the dog. Yes, a dog is gonna be in it. So let's just wait and see. So tune in next week for episode 3.